Okay, so I'm going to formally start. I'm just going to bring my hands to my heart centre, lower my hands, step, feet hip width apart, and do your swaying. So you might be interested that this is a modification of a Tibetan practice that comes within the complete practice, Tibetan practice for rejuvenation, and the opening sequence is this, but I thought it might be interesting if I showed you what the actual sequence is. And the actual sequence is bringing your hands up and swirling to the right about 21 to 23 times. So you're like a swirling dervish. But of course, the danger is that you spin your mind and you're not able to focus, and then you might lose balance. So when you stop, everything swirls and it's impossible to retain a thought. So the modification of that is just to go from side to side.
Oh dear.
So I take it you don't like the swirling dervish.
Oh, that's intense.
So just come from side to side. It's just sometimes interesting to do an actual original movement and see perhaps why I modify things. So the next step on from the modification comes to this, where you're touching your shoulders, and that gives a more rigorous movement, where you might lift your heels more and you turn your navel towards the direction that you're aiming. You lead with your navel. And this more intense swaying from side to side comes within the Tibetan yoga called yantra yoga, that you might see me put up sometimes. And yantra yoga is the Tibetan, it's the medicine side of Tibetan yoga. So just then come to sway less and then come to the centre. And bring your feet back to a comfortable hip width apart. Lifting and rolling your shoulders open opens the lung meridians here at the shoulder points, but it also opens the energy gateways or pathways into the head. And Eastern medicine very looks at the diseases of the upper head, as they call it, the upper body, the head, as a blocking of energy. So lifting and rolling your shoulders addresses that energy flow into the head. And then inhaling, raise one arm, your right arm in my case. Breathing out, turn away from your arm. Breathing in, come to the centre. And breathing out, lowering your arm. And then breathing in and raising my left arm. Breathing out, turn away from the raised arm. Breathing in, come to the centre. And breathing out, lower the arm. Lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, raise both arms. Clasp and reverse your palms upwards. Breathing out, just go to one side. Breathing in, stretch up. And breathing out, go to the other side. Breathing in, stretch up. And breathing out, lower your hands back down to your side. Lift and roll your shoulders. Just turn your head to one side. Come to the centre and turn your head to the other side. And come to the centre. Bring your hands to your chest, and now we're going to come to lying on our mats. To start this practice, which is a rebalancing practice for the entire body, but also the mind. So before we come to line, if you've come to line, don't worry, but just stretch your toes upwards and point your toes away from you. If you're lying, just point your toes upwards and then point your toes away. And then just stretch your toes out and release and relax them. And now come to line. Just have your feet hip width apart and take a couple of breaths in and out to align your breath. Now you can keep your right leg straight along the floor, or at any time you can bend your right knee to make this movement, this knee to chest pose, softer. For the moment, bring your attention to your left knee and hug your left knee into your chest. Now you can keep your right leg, as I said, stretched out, or you might want to bend your right knee too, which makes the whole pose softer. And still holding your left knee, make gentle circles in one direction. So you're circling the top of your leg in the hip socket. And then very gently reverse your circle so that you're circling your leg in the opposite direction. Dropping your hands behind your left thigh, extend your left leg up towards the ceiling. You can keep a bend if that's good for you in your left knee, and extend your left heel, which activates a stretch all the way along the back of your left leg. If you've been either gardening a lot or driving a lot, you're opening up towards the lower back by having your knees bent either side like this. This is quite helpful for sciatic nerve. And then toes up towards the ceiling and extend your left foot. And toes up and extend your foot. And toes up and extend your heel. And then begin to gently circle your left ankle in one direction. And then begin to circle your left ankle in the other direction. And stretch your toes out. So stretching your toes is creating a space between the toes and the foot and activates the lung meridians. So then just relax your toes and then stretch your toes again. And then you can begin to walk your hands up the back of your left leg, which brings your left leg towards you. You might find that you're not going to go very far at all. You can increase or intensify that stretch by extending your left heel. And then just relaxing, bending your left knee, hugging your left knee into your chest once more. Turning your left knee outwards and resting your left ankle on top of your right leg. So it's a figure of 4. Your hands can be relaxed on your abdomen. Maybe your left hand goes on the inside of your left thigh. Maybe your right hand goes on the floor. And you can just gently start to sway from side to side. This has the effect of massaging across your lower back. And also at the top of your sacrum. And just almost at the top of your bottom, if you run your hand down, there's a little dent, and it can often feel very tense and sore. Your hand automatically goes there, and that's a major acupressure point. It's almost pressing in there. You can have a ball, a soft ball. You see people rolling on that area, just massaging across that area. And then very gently taking your hand underneath your left thigh to support you lifting up your left leg, hugging it into your chest. And then just replacing your left leg on the floor. And then just hands on the abdomen as you just gently rock your knees from side to side. Again, this repeats that massage across your lower back, probably more towards your bottom area here, getting to that acupressure point. And then transferring your attention to your right side, pick up your right knee and hug your right knee in towards your chest. Your left leg can stay bent, knee bent, foot on the floor, or you can extend your left leg along the floor if that's good for you. It's a stronger stretch. But whatever you do, just enjoy hugging your knee into your chest. So I mentioned about the sciatic nerve. Certainly extending your leg upwards or along the floor is giving space along the back of your leg. But hugging your knee into your chest is creating space at the lower back area. So very good for sciatica, and very good if you've been sitting still for a long time. So just creating space at the lower back. It should feel very releasing. And still holding your right knee, just circle your right knee a few times in one direction so you can feel that the top of your leg is moving in the hip socket. If you're worried about your hip at all, you can increase this circle by dropping your left hand to your left waist, your hip bone, opening out your right leg to the right further and making bigger circles, still supporting your right knee with your right hand. So that bigger circle gives a greater rotation and explores the hip movement more towards the edges of your movement. And yet it's such a gentle exercise or movement. And then just reverse your circle the other way. Your circles are as big or as little as you would like to make them. And then very gently hug your right knee into your chest, and now drop your hands behind your right thigh to support the right leg as you extend your right foot up towards the ceiling. And then extend your right heel and feel that stretch along the back of your right leg. If you want to feel your psoas muscle on the inside of your right leg, you can just slightly angle your big toe, your right big toe inwards towards the midline of your body. It's only a subtle movement. Still extending your heel, and you might find a subtle tensing. The psoas muscle connects to a lot of emotional aspects of ourselves, so it's often underutilized. But also activating the psoas muscle gives support to either side of the leg, and we can tend to be lazy without even realizing it. And then extending your right heel and pointing your right toes to the ceiling. The more you point your right toes up and away from you, the more you'll stretch across the back of your right foot, which connects into the lymph system. And then extend your right heel and point your toes away. And then the same again. And begin to gently circle your ankle in one direction. And then very gently reverse that direction as you circle in the other way. And then finish by stretching your toes out, opening the lung meridian points on your foot as they connect to the foot. And then just release and relax your toes. You can walk your hands up the back of your right leg, bringing your right leg towards you. If you find that your chin has shot upwards, then you've gone too far, and the way to correct that is to move your hands back down, lower your hands along the back of your leg to allow your chin to straighten out. There's a benefit to extending the neck. It allows blood to travel unimpeded along the spine and up through the neck into the head. And then very gently bend your right knee and turn your right knee out to the side, resting your right ankle on your left leg. And your hands to be relaxed either on your abdomen, or maybe your right palm goes on the right inside of your thigh. Maybe your left palm goes on the floor to support you as you gently sway your knees from side to side. And again, get that rocking action across your base of your spine. You can lift your hip up as you rock. You'll find that your hip lifts. And in this figure of four movement, which is an alternative to pigeon, you can open the inside of your thigh a little bit, and this activates the lymph, the energetic pathways in your lower half of your body. So it's quite helpful from an immune system perspective. And then very gently hug your right knee into your chest. Enjoy that hug, creating space at the lower base of the spine. And then replace gently your right foot back onto the floor. Your hands are supporting you. And once more, just gently rock your knees from side to side. So we now come to something called lying tree. Extend both legs along the floor. They can be again hip width apart. Just feel comfortable. Extend the left heel and relax. Extend the right heel, left heel, and then right heel. It gives space within the hip area. And then gently bend your left knee and aim the inside of the left sole of your foot towards the right leg. You're not putting any pressure on your right leg at all. You're just opening the left leg out to the side. You can have support underneath your left thigh if you need that. If you like to extend your right heel, that activates the pose a little bit more. And it's lying tree, so it's a very simple way of getting the benefits of tree and opening up the energetic lymph pathways. But you're lying down, so you haven't got the balance issues. Although balancing, of course, has its own benefits. But this is a very simple way to open out the thighs. And sadly, just age really is one factor, but as we get older, our muscles tend to contract, and they certainly contract if we don't use them. And so both the shoulder joint and the hip socket have a rotational joint movement, and it's quite easy to walk and take exercise and not actually open that rotational aspect of our joints, and then they can stiffen up as the muscles contract, and they just pull slightly, so pull in on your shoulder and pull in on the hip. Just take your left hand underneath your left thigh to support it, lifting up your left leg, left knee up to the ceiling, and then just slide your left leg along the mat. Release and relax, let both feet flop out, just wobble your feet, just getting movement into the feet and the legs. And then keeping your left leg where it is, you might like to extend your left heel, bend your right knee, and then open your right knee. The right sole of the foot faces to the inside of your left leg. And because we're not putting any pressure on the right leg, it's not supporting us, it doesn't matter really where the right foot goes. In classic tree, you're always told to avoid your knee because you don't want pressure of your right foot against the left knee and burning it out. But here, we haven't got that worry. And again, you can explore. The lower you put your right foot, of course, the softer the angle, and the higher you bring your right foot, the more open that hip becomes. You can always put a cushion underneath your thigh or supporting you under the knee. But also, in Iyengar, he's a yoga it's a yoga school, but he was a yoga guru, shall we say. In his cancer treatment, he will have people for months just relaxing in a variation of this, opening the hip, and just opening the arms and resting their hands and supported by cushions, just to rest so that it gives space energetically for the lymph and immune system to operate at both the lower and the upper level. And that's where people will do nothing more than just lie like this and relax. We tend to rush around and forget just the importance of relaxing. But we come to an end as we lift, supporting the right knee, lift the right knee up, hug the right knee into the chest, and then you can bend the left knee up and hug both knees into the chest, and just gently rock from side to side. And then supporting the legs underneath to bring both right and left feet back down onto the ground. Your knees are bent, your feet are hip width apart. Bend your elbows, raise your elbows above your head, and either hold your elbows, or if you can't hold your elbows, hold your wrists. You're now opening the upper part of your body. And it's quite a strong pull as we open up under the arms. Again, you can always have a cushion underneath you so that your hands are not going so far back onto the floor. And if you haven't got a cushion, you could always just rest the backs of your hands on your forehead, or just adopt a position that's comfortable for you. If that's not great for you to have your wrists holding one another, you can just open out just wherever it's comfortable for you. And just breathe in and out. So you'll notice that your chest is lifting, and this in yoga, strangely, the lifting at the chest like this is classified as a back bend. It's giving space for all your organs from really the diaphragm right the way down through. So it's not compressing your organs, so your blood and your muscles are just giving space for more optimal blood flow and optimal functioning. But it is quite a strong pull under your arms. So breathing out, then move your arms back down to the back alongside you, and you can rest your hands on the floor, or you can rest your hands on your abdomen as you once more just sway your knees from side to side. You might like to bring your feet slightly wider than hip width apart, and that gives a greater massage across your lower back. Your hips can lift off the ground. And you can turn your head away from the direction of your knees. Head and knees come to the centre, and you turn your knees to the other direction. Your hip lifts, of course. Your head can turn away. So what you're doing is to move the top and the bottom of your spine. And the spine is the basis of health. Socrates said, if you would seek health, look first to the spine, because along the line of the spine, you've got all your endocrine and your glandular functioning from really at the base of the spine, right the way through, right up until beyond your spine into your head. So just moving your spine is a very good way to balance, or to start to balance your endocrine system, balance your left and right body, which then extends to your emotional side. And of course, another point I should make is that inversions are very good for rebalancing your endocrine system as well. And then come to knees and head to the centre and bend your knees in. And then drop your hands to support under your thighs. And I like to clasp my hands, just raising my feet up gently. My knees are bent, and I just slightly sway from side to side. Seaweed. It's a slight inversion. It rests your legs. It just rocks either side of your centre part of your spine. There's very little effort because the floor, the ground is supporting you. It's supporting your skeleton. which gives your muscles a chance to begin to let go if they're holding very tight. Then bend your knees in towards your chest, hug them in with your hands. Place your feet once more on the floor. Slide your feet out along the ground, so you're lying in Shavasana. And then raise your right arm above you, stretch it out, extend your right heel, and then turn your head away from your right arm towards the left. Inhale your head back to the centre, and breathing out, lower your right arm, bending it at the elbow, and just relax your right arm and your right leg out to the side, just let everything go. Slightly engage your left side by extending your left heel. As you raise your left arm up above you, stretching out your left arm. And then breathing out, turn your head to the right, away from your left arm. Inhaling, bring your head back to the centre. And breathing out, lower your left arm back down on your side. This time, raise your right arm again. Stretch your right arm away from you and extend your right heel. Breathe out as you relax slightly, just letting everything release. Breathe in, stretch up again. And breathe out, lower your right arm back down to your side. Breathing in, bend your left elbow as you raise your left arm and stretch your left heel away from you. Breathing out, your left arm stays above as you relax everything down. Breathe in, stretch your left arm and left foot away from one another. And breathing out, just release and relax, rolling everything back down. And just let your feet roll out to the side. Let your head turn gently from side to centre and to side. And then once more, bend your knees into your chest. Rock your knees from side to side. And then taking your time to roll over to one side, to the right, away from your heart. Or if you feel like doing that, you can rock up to a seated position. But you do feel that you can take your time to let the blood adjust as you go from lying to an upright position. And then come round to a seated position and bring the soles of your feet together in Baddha. So sliding your hands down your shins and just soles of the feet, if they're not together, then aiming towards each other, and you can hold your shins or hold your ankles or just explore massaging the insteps inside your feet. Again, you're opening just this inner thigh area. And you can just slightly bounce your knees. This is said to move energy, so any stagnating energy, especially as we've been lying down, just gently opens up that energy flow. And then hands under the thighs to support. I'm going to roll my knees to one side and then come into a very gentle cat position, so knees and hands on the floor. And just explore your cat by just gently rocking from side to side. Rockabye baby. And then come to the centre with what I call a neutral back. So your back is neither dipped nor is it rounded, it's neutral. And now as you breathe in, dip your back, bottom goes slightly up, and you either look up or look along the mat, depending on where your neck capacity is. Classically you would look up,
Breathing out, round your back, your chin goes towards your chest. And inhaling, dipping your back.
And breathing out, rounding chin to chest.
You can either do that again
And carry on a couple of times, or next time, optionally, as you round your chin to chest,
you can tuck your toes underneath. When I say engage your abdomen, just pull your tummy in fractionally at about 10 or 20% of your capacity. So if you're pulling up or pulling on a tight pair of jeans, that activates your abdominal control and it protects your lower back by doing that. And then lift one knee and the other, coming into a soft dog. You bring your bottom away from your hands and then start to extend your legs. Your heels don't have to touch the ground. You feel free to widen your feet to give you a more solid support base, and your knees can be kept bent. Bend one knee and straighten it, then bend the other knee. It's called walking the dog. Just gently, and you can sway your bottom from side to side. And then very gently bend both knees back down to the ground. You're back in cat. And move your hands to the left. Bring your right foot through. And feel that you can move your right foot slightly out to the right side of the mat if you need that for your balance. Classically, your left foot would be just flat, but you can always tuck it under for greater balance, but that's a choice. And then what I call kneel up, just place your hands roughly on your right knee, just to stabilise you. And open your palms outwards. Again, you're opening the L1 and L2 lung part, or meridians, and the shoulder, and you're opening your shoulder as well. And you can either look ahead or look straight up. It's a very releasing pose. Bring your head upright, and then you can just raise your arms slightly. But if you want to, you can carry on raising your arms straight up. I quite like to hold my thumbs together for greater balance. It's a real stretch. And then breathing out, bend your elbows. And have a sense of coming forward from the base of your spine, almost laying your torso on top of your right leg, or just lengthening it over your right leg. Hands either side of your right foot. You might want to just bring your right foot slightly in. And just enjoy the stretch in your right hip. And then slide your right foot back, just you're back to kneeling again. And then just rock by baby, either side. And again, if you want to explore tucking your toes, just dip your back as you breathe in and round your back. Your toes are tucked and are coming into a soft downward dog. But if you don't want to come into dog, you can carry on with cat, cow. Straighten your legs, but they can always remain bent at the knees, and just walk the dog, bending one knee and then the other. Bend both knees back down to the ground. And then move your hands this time to the right to bring your left foot up. Hands either side of your left foot. And you can again move your left foot slightly out towards the edge of the mat if you'd like greater balance. You can tuck your right foot under. But either way, you can use your hands to support you to walk up your left leg, kneeling upwards. And then just open your palms. Opening your palms also accesses a slightly different part of the lung. But as I said, you've got two lung points here, L1 and L2. So that opens those. Looking ahead, or you can look up. The action of looking up disconnects the eyes from the stress centers of the brain. So you let go, release thoughts, bring your head upright. And then inhaling, raise your arms. You can start actually at your waist, but you can then carry on and then raise them higher, lifting them right up. And then you can bring your thumbs to hold if that's good, and just keep your arms separate. And you can look ahead. It's more difficult to look up. You really have to focus on your balance. But either way,
bring your head upright again. Release your arms back down towards your side as you come forward. Hands either side of your left foot.
Just enjoy the stretch. And then slide your left leg back, and then back kneeling into cat. And again, just rock from side to side. So again, this is optional. Dip your back,
Looking up, rounding chin to chest.
This, I would do that again, or you can walk your hands slightly forward and keep on your knees and come to what they call as up dog.
So again, it's very opening. This is stronger, so you don't have to do this. And then come back to kneeling and walk your hands back.
And have your elbows on the ground as you come into a kind of puppy pose, your bottoms up in the air. When you're doing this, you can actually have a cushion supporting you under your head, and just wag your puppy tail as you just move your bottom from side to side. Your bottom's up, it's quite releasing along parts of the back. You've got added support. And then if you're happy to, if you're not, to stay like this, basically come to lying on your front, your elbows are bent, and you come into something called a Sphinx pose. So the closer you bring your elbows to you, the more upright you are. The more you move your elbows away from you, the more you come down towards the ground, and the lesser of an angle it is on your lower back. You can put your hands on top of one another to rest your forehead if you want to, or you can stay in Sphinx. Just take whatever works for you. Let your heels drop out to the side and wobble your bottom. It's a very releasing pose. So, as you're wobbling your bottom from side to side, jelly wobble, if you tuck your right foot underneath, the heels up towards the ceiling. If you then extend your right heel away from you, your whole right leg will lift an inch away from the floor, and this opens you at the front of the hip. Then release the right leg back down onto the mat, let the heel fall out to the right, and just wobble your bottom again. And then tap your left toes underneath, extending the left heel away from up towards the ceiling. And then extending the left heel away from you, you lift the entire left leg just a fraction off the ground. This opens you at the front of your left hip, just release the whole leg, let your feet drop out to the side of what jelly wobble. You might like to bring your feet slightly, a fraction wider, your knees a fraction wider apart, but this is the individual choice, to bend your knees and your soles of your feet come up to the ceiling. And then just sway your feet from side to side. This is an individual adjustment for you to work out the width of your knees, what feels good for you. Again, this is feels very releasing, it's creating space. And you might like to just sway your feet a little bit or sway them a lot. The head either down or coming forward creates a length at the back of the neck, so that's quite releasing for the neck, but on an emotional level it's calming for the nervous system. And the chin naturally comes down towards the chest,
And this again is activating the vagus nerve, which is a bundle of nerves, extensive from the head all the way down, through the neck, all the way down to the heart. It extends almost down to this hugely influential. Well, activated vagus nerves decreases inflammation, so you want your vagus nerve on to sort of help with any inflammation of the body.
And then very, very gently just release your legs back down. And there are a couple of ways to roll onto your back. One way is classically to slide your hands close to your chest, elbows in, press down and come up, and then come to roll around. Or If you don't want to do that, it's quite an effort. Just roll to the side, bend your knees in, and then just roll onto your back. So choose the movement that suits you best. And then once you're on your back, bend your knees. And this time, your feet are hip width apart again. Your hands are actually palms down. Your shoulders are away from your ears. Very easy to have them drifting up to your ears. And just start a very gentle pelvic tilt. So you're flattening your back to the ground. You're slightly pressing your feet into the ground as if you're going to lift your bottom, but your bottom still stays on the ground. And then release so that there's a little gap at the base of your spine as you roll the other way. And then just flattening your back. One of the osteopath exercises for people who've got have had back wipeouts. This is one of the first remedial poses, taken from yoga, of course, that they might give you to just bring some movement to the spine very safely. The spine is, your whole skeleton is being supported by the earth, so you can't overarch, you can't do anything. It's a very safe, gentle reintroduction to back movement. And you can stay doing this, or you might like to take it a stage further. But as you press your feet down, you actually do lift your bottom. Your chin tucks down towards your chest, and you can raise your arms up, bending at the elbows above you, stretching your arms up ahead. And then breathing out, lower your arms, lower your bottom back down to the ground. And then hug your knees into your chest. And just gently rock from side to side. So this is an opening pose. It's a bridge variation, but it's also strengthening the lower back, but in a very gentle way. Place your feet back down to the earth. Press your hands, palms down. Press your feet into the ground as you lift your bottom, raising your bottom, raising your arms above your head. Start your out breath, and almost half to 3/4 of the way through, you'll find that your arms naturally start to descend. Your body takes them down with you, without any effort on your part. And then hug your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. And so you can bend your knees in. Either slide your hands down your shins as you're holding just above your ankles and rock from side to side. So it's a half happy baby. Or you can slide your hands to underneath your feet into a full happy baby and rock from side to side. Again, choices. Very opening for the lower area. If full happy baby doesn't suit you, but you like the motion, then drop one leg down to the floor and just do half happy baby. So that's also an option, and you might prefer that. It's less effort. It allows you to get into one side more, what I call thoroughly. So if you've done half happy baby on one side, you might like to do half happy baby on the other side. The knee is aiming towards the ground. And then just release your foot back down to the ground. And once more connect to, you can have your hands on your abdomen or palms down on the ground. Feet are hip width apart, just to sway your knees from side to side. You can lift your hip. You can involve your head. And then coming back to the centre, just keeping your elbows where they are on the ground. You can move them in towards you or out away from you. Just circle, lift your hands up towards the ceiling, just circle your wrists in one direction. And then circle your wrists in the other direction. Just curl your hands in and then stretch your fingers out. Let your hands curl in and then stretch your fingers out. This is particularly good if you've been doing any close work. Just releases. It's an anti-arthritic movement, and it forms something in yoga called the Pavanastana series of joint movements, which is very helpful for the body overall. And then just release your hands back. And then just as you bring your hands back to your, resting on your solar plexus, just below by your diaphragm, just connecting to that breathing mechanism as you breathe in and breathing out. Again, lying like this gives your body space at the front. Nothing is compressed, so everything, including the lungs, all your organs have space. And then just taking one hand, it's likely to be your dominant hand, so my right hand, and just placing the pads of the fingers on your forehead. So you'll feel a little dent in the centre of your forehead. And if you very gently make a little circle, you'll find your fingers go quite naturally one direction. So when you're circling, sometimes people see colours here, and it connects into the pineal gland and further back in the brain, the pituitary gland, but both are part of our metabolic control, our master control. So this is just activating this energy centre. It can be very soothing. If ever you have a headache, you can circle here, or just trace your fingers from one side of the forehead to the other. You tend to come off at the temple, and that's equally soothing. There are all types of little acupressure points on the face. When you really feel your face, you'll find little dents that reflect the acupressure points. So, for instance, there are two major ones on the inside of your eyebrows. You just gently press on the inside of your eyebrows. There are two little dents there, and the inside of the eyebrows and the next one further down, the inside of the eye, particularly used in the opening sequence of one of the Chinese breathwork systems called Qigong. And if you just run your fingers along your eyebrows, there's another dent halfway along. You can circle around there, and you can circle out towards your temples. And if ever you have a headache, immediately above your eyebrows there are two bony parts, and if you press on that, it stops the blood leaving the head, the flight or fight response, so it keeps the blood there. So again, that's useful for headaches, to press on these neurovascular points, energy points. And then just very gently release. Come to either have your knees together in constructive rest, or if you would like to relax your legs down to the ground in Shavasana, please do that, just to connect with the body once more before we finish for the day. So the first thing is to have a thought for the day. It can be any thought. It's it can be wishing somebody else well, or something positive for you. And mentally repeat that thought, and then repeat it again. So it sets it in your intention for the day, and it's called in yoga sankalpa. It's an intention setting. And now just physically, just tense your toes and release them and relax and let them go. Just feel how heavy your legs become when you do that. Tense your knees and release and relax and let your legs go. Tense your bottom, you can tense your knees and feet again if you want to, and then just release the whole leg. Let the feet flop out. You can tense your arms, your fists, your elbows, your shoulders, and then just release and relax wherever you feel comfortable to let your hands relax. And then consciously lift up from your chest. Your chest lifts away from the mat, and then release and relax the whole of your body back down onto the mat. Consciously lift your shoulders up towards your ears, and just as consciously lower and release your shoulders down away from your ears. And then just gently let your head roll to one side. Your chin is slightly down. Let your head roll back to the centre and roll over to the other side. And come back to the centre. And as you breathe in, trace the breath in your imagination through the nostrils to a point in the centre of your head, and like an eternal shower, mist the air down as you breathe out, and take with your exhalation anything you don't want today, any thought, emotion, or any physical niggle, just let it go, floating down through the body as you cleanse the body and leave through the soles of the feet. And again, bring your focus back to the nostrils as you breathe in. Breath travels to your centre of your head, your internal shower, and you miss the breath like air, down through the eyes, all the way down through the head, through the neck, all the way through the chest, through all the organs, all the way down through the hips, the legs, and leaving through the soles of the feet. And then pick a colour that you resonate with today. It can be any colour. And as you breathe in that colour, coloured air that goes to the centre of the head. And your internal shower mists down coloured air, like coloured mist, floating down through your body, past your eyes and your ears, rejuvenating and cleaning them through your throat and your neck, following the glandular endocrine system as it goes all the way down through your organs, floating and misting, cleaning through your hips, your lower abdominal hip area, your legs, your knees, all the way down through to your ankles, your feet, your toes, and mists out through the soles of your feet and way beyond your toes and your body. And take a moment now just to connect and notice what parts of the body connect with the floor. The backs of the heels and the calves, if you're lying out, maybe your feet if you've got your knees bent, your bottom, back of your back, the back of your neck, your head. Just connect and notice how the earth is holding you and supporting you. And you could stay here and just float and relax, enjoying the relaxation. When we've done any movement, relaxation allows you to reabsorb that movement back into your body, if that makes sense. You don't feel tired, you feel balanced. Or if you want to finish the class formally, then you're very welcome to join me to hug your legs into your knees into your chest and just rocking from side to side again. Taking your time to roll to the side or rocking up to come to a seated position. But do feel that you can stay lying and floating if you would like to lie and float. And just take a bow for yourself for the day ahead to finish the class. And thank you very much for joining me today.